thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate you watching the last one on cults. This one's a little more dedicated to the cult that I particularly am an expert of, the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm going to do a bunch of little small videos which I think might be useful to you. I didn't intend or never really had an interest in this particular subject until I had a daughter of my own, and this started to become very important to me, and I want to start this one. Okay, so here we go. The Jehovah's Witnesses are a misogynistic, patriarchal cult. It is run for and by men. Women are not viewed as highly, women are not respected, and women are not trusted to have responsibility. If a woman has to pray in front of a man, she must wear a headscarf. If a 13-year-old boy is in the room instead, he'd be the one to pray. It is very degrading to and derisive of women. The second leader of the Jehovah's Witnesses was famed for saying that women are a hag of hair and a hank of bones, I believe it was, or possibly the other way around. But either way, you get the point. And they haven't really changed much from that. So, if you're a woman and you listen to this, you know it's true. You know I'm not making this up. You're not regarded. You're not respected. Although, to be honest with you, you probably run the whole place. You probably clean the place. You probably are the one who goes out on the service the most. If it wasn't for the women in the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's and the Jehovah's Witnesses in general, there would be no Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's largely the case in most churches as well, I would suggest. But it doesn't matter, because you're still not respected. And you know this to be the case. You're very much a private in this man's army. So, what other more negative things, if there could be much more negative than that, does that then spawn? Well, let's talk about it. The Jehovah's Witnesses have a policy that if you have only one witness to a crime, then you don't have any witnesses. There's nothing to do. You may as well just forget about it. In fact, it gets worse than that, because they don't believe that you have the right to go to the police, because it's a terrible thing to bring another Jehovah's Witness to court. So how does that manifest itself in the realm of women's rights and women's roles in the congregation? Well, as a woman, what do you do if your husband beats you? Hopefully you go to the police. Hopefully you go to the police, you show him the bruises, and you say, this man's beating me, and he goes to jail, as he should. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, however, and there's ample evidence and ample watchtowers and awake articles whereby they say that the woman then needs to learn from this, and she needs to understand and needs to treat her husband better. Not only that, but she doesn't have the right to then go to the police, and the witnesses won't care unless he's basically been beating her in front of other people. So they need those two witnesses at least. If you have a child, if you have a daughter, if you have a son as well, but if you have a daughter particularly, and you're studying with the Jehovah's Witnesses and you're thinking about being involved, and you think, what lovely people, what nice people, just think to yourself, maybe it'll be nice for you, maybe these are nice people, maybe you'll have a good life in it. What about your children? Are you happy to know that whoever they marry, that they're not only stuck with them, but they're stuck with them if they're abusive, if they're a violent person? No, of course you're not. It's not reasonable. It's not right. Are you happy if you have a son, that he'll be raised in a society, in an organisation which treats women like that? It wasn't really, as I said, something that I gave a lot of thought to as a male growing up, because I wasn't really taught to think like that. It wasn't something that was important to us. But now that I have had a child of my own, a little girl, and I think to myself, what a dreadful experience for her if she would ever be involved in such a thing. So I'm leaving that for you. It's only, a couple of minutes. Have a think about it. There's plenty of evidence. I actually brought up the laptop, and there's just tons of information on the subject, on the Jehovah's Witnesses and their viewpoint on women, and how lowly they are regarded. And I would urge you to Google the subject, because really, they're not worth your time. They're not worth your consideration. And if you're a member of it now and you have daughters, get out for their sake, because you're causing them harm. Okay, thank you very much.